Hey guys, Dan Heilman back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit of Ethereum. We're going to be talking about a little bit of a NEO, which is an interesting pick. I'll talk about that one and I'll tell you why in a second. We're going to be talking about what I think is going to happen in the next week here. We're going to talk about some moon phases because we have a bull moon starting tomorrow. If you don't know what that is, a little bit superstitious, but if you go back and back check some of the moon phases, you'll see that they can be quite predictive. So let's go. What's going on? So obviously there's a lot of tariff stuff going on. There's actually a lot of news and stuff going on about tariffs kind of pulling off, right? We had that little, I guess, preview of the tariffs where it got kind of leaked where, they said 90-day pause and then White House was like, nope, just kidding. And then, yep, next day, sure enough, it happened. So there's some rumors about selling gold reserves for Bitcoin. This has been a rumor going along for quite some time. So that's really interesting. That would be a really interesting turn of events if something like that happened. That'd be quite insane. The tariffs basically are kind of walked back and now apparently they're retroactive. So they might be reimbursing some of the duties that were already paid. So that's kind of weird, kind of interesting. There's definitely a potential for the Fed to cut rates. Basically, they were saying, there's some liquidity that, the Fed can always provide liquidity. And as you know, we've had some economic news that have came out that's not quite as it's weird because it's counterintuitive, right? You actually want bad news because that means you're going to be getting rate cuts. You can see this PPI is down a lot. Inflation is down a lot, which is good. Good for interest rates at least, right? So when the interest rates go down, people don't want to hold as many bonds. They want to hold more riskier assets. So that is usually always a good thing. And we finally actually broke out and closed from this descending channel here. Let me turn the moon phases off. Actually, before I do that, let me just kind of show you something kind of interesting. So this is what the moon phase triggers off. It says that a waning moon is bullish and it says that a waxing moon is bearish. Now, we have the full moon. It's actually kind of an interesting thing. It's a full pink moon today. I don't know really the significance of it, but the moon is going to be looking pinkish tonight. Tomorrow we start the bull moon, which usually means when you have a bull moon, you start to see some pumps. You can see the bull moon right here, a nice up. Bull moon here, a little bit up, but kind of sideways. Bull moon here, big pump. Bull moon started right here, big pump. Usually it affects the first 3 days the most. You can see, look at this, huge pump into the all-time high because of that bull moon. Another bull moon here. You can see big pump. So the bull moon is quite bullish. So we'll see what happens there. What did I just do with my... Where did this thing, what just happened? Anyway, so yeah, we got a bull moon coming. That's what it means. That's the significance of it. I don't know why it's significant, but if you go backwards and just look at it, you can see a lot of these bull moons are up. Bull moon up, bull moon up, bull moon up, bull moon up. This was the only bull moon in previous history, and news obviously and stuff like that can trump it, but bull moon up, bull moon up. Bull moon up. You see, I mean, look at how predictive. Look at this bull moon. Boom. This bull moon gave us a 40% pump from Bitcoin. So the bull moon has been pretty accurate and it starts tomorrow. So normally I would be worried about a weekend pump. As someone just said, actually, I swear, yeah, personally a bit suspicious of this weekend pump on low volume because usually market makers have been using the weekends to dump the price. Maybe this time they're going to actually use it to pump the price while people, some people, locking some people out of the market, right? So I normally am pretty suspicious about it, but we have two things going on. We have the bull moon and we broke out of this channel and finally closed above it. You can see we've broken out of the channel here before, but the daily still closed below the channel. Now we have the first close and we're going up further and we could potentially close again. So kind of interesting here. We'll see what happens. And there's no bearish divergence yet on like the 1 hour, 4 hour, etc. This is a little bit bearish on the 1 hour because we have a higher high, but the RSI is about the same. So that is kind of like, I believe that's called a hidden bearish divergent, if I'm not mistaken, divergence. So this is potentially a little bit, but we've had a nice little pull up. So if we 8%, 9% pump is really nice. So if we pull back a little bit down into this line, nothing to be scared about. Again, you guys know it's a lot of up and downs, but all right. So we're going to talk about NEO, and we're going to talk about Ethereum. So let's pull up, let's hide that again. Let's talk about Ethereum. So if I go on the daily, it's actually quite interesting because I have my little Camel Finance indicator that is somehow up here. What happened here? Hold on, give me one sec. What happened here? How did this get up here? Oh, I must have accidentally dragged that up there. That's what happened. Oh, okay. So let's try that again. Let's try that again. So let's put that on there. There we go. Oh, now I have to edit the settings again. Oh, oopsie. Let's turn that off and then get rid of that. Okay, so you can see right now the Camel Finance indicator, which kind of just tells you the cycle lows, when it's done, when it's over. You can see the blue means it's predicting that we're going to have a big weekly low here, which usually means, you know, this only happens every, I don't know, a month or so. So even more than that, every couple months. So we could have a big breakout here, especially because we've had this downsloping resistance that we've had for quite some time. So I actually have been loading up on Ethereum below $1,700. It's still below $1,700. I bought a bunch at $1,700 and I bought a bunch at like $1,400, $1,450 or something. So let's go look at ETH Bitcoin. It's kind of interesting because if we go on the weekly and we zoom out, you can see we're kind of basically to this low that we had in the beginning of the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. So this was kind of the beginning. Let me turn this off real quick just so it's not, so we can kind of see what's happening here. But as you'll see, we're kind of at the bottom. You know, we came below this. I thought we were going to maybe hang out on this, but maybe not. We just draw a line, horizontal line right at the bottom of this double bottom that we hit last time, we're like basically almost there. So we could see maybe a big pump by Bitcoin, which would lower Ethereum versus Bitcoin. And we could maybe tag this line. This trend line is actually, you can see there's some support back here all the way back in 2016. There's support, a lot of it right here in 2019. And then we came back down to it again, which is quite interesting. So I'm thinking maybe we get down here, we bottom in the next couple days, especially since we have the money supply going up in a lot of countries. A lot of countries are starting to print money. There's rumors of the US starting to print money. So quantitative tightening is officially ending, according to Jerome Powell. He said April 1st, they're going to start slowing down on quantitative tightening. That does not mean that quantitative easing starts right away. But another interesting thing is here, if you go on the weekly, this is actually the lowest weekly RSI ever. Is that true? Oh my God, it is. This is the lowest weekly. If we go to the monthly, same story, big time. So this is the lowest the RSI has ever been on the weekly or monthly time frame for Ethereum Bitcoin. So that's interesting. If we go to Ethereum, is it kind of the same story? Here we are, the weekly. No, we're almost down there. If we go to the monthly, where are we? The monthly, it is the lowest again. Wow. It is the lowest. Wow, not by a lot, but it is the lowest on the monthly. The weekly, it's not quite the lowest, but it's getting there. So that's quite interesting. That means it is very, very, very oversold. I've been stacking up on Ethereum. If you want something that's a little bit more risky, you can get any of the altcoins on the Ethereum. I'm really bullish on ENS. That's another one that's down here in the dumps pretty hard. So if you're looking for another big speculation play, you can see ENS right now, 14 bucks. 240% to get back up to 50 bucks. And you can see if we even come back down here into 2021, it went all the way up to 83 bucks. And, you know, I had my stop loss at $12 and it pegged it exactly. So I'm really pissed. That closed out my leverage trade on ENS. And then of course it just rocketed, 23%. I had 3x leverage, so that's like whatever, 70% pump. I think I entered in right about here, this zero phase, and then it stopped me out. So that was really unfortunate. But another really interesting one is NEO. And this one is very interesting because this is kind of like the Chinese Ethereum. I've talked about it a couple times on the channel. I have a pretty big leverage play open right now on Bitunix. I've actually been using 1x leverage just because the swings are a little bit easier to handle, and you can't actually get liquidated when you have 1x leverage, because the price would have to go to literally 0. So I've been using 1x leverage. I'll show you what I got going on. I'm on Bitunix again. If you do want to try out Bitunix, I got a link below. Gives you a nice big discount on fees, and it also, there's some first time deposit bonuses and stuff like that. But I have a NEO trade that I had open. It was actually up quite a lot. I'll show you where I entered and everything. So here's my NEO trade. You can see 1x leverage. I'm up 12%. So with 1x leverage, that means I'm actually up 12%, and the asset is up 12%, right? So I actually entered all the way back here about $4.40. I sold a tiny bit up at the top here, about $4.90. I added in this breakout here again, and then I added a little bit more. I sold a little bit on this big dump, and then I added at the bottom of it as well. And this is what we got going on. So this is, I have been a NEO holder for quite some time. I lived in China for a while, and in 2018, 2019, so it was the Chinese Ethereum. It's very similar to Ethereum. It's not like a dead coin or anything. They have been doing patches, and everyone's the staff, the devs are still working on it. So it's not a dead asset, but it's really cheap. And I think it's a really good swing play right now, just because, even just look here in December, it hit all the way up into like $26 and it's $5 right now. Right. So, that's a 370% right there. And then not to mention, if you're looking backwards and seeing where this thing is, okay, I don't have a lot because I'm on the Bitunix trade. I also have BTCC trades going with mining stocks, crypto mining stocks, not like precious metal mining stocks. So I have some of that going, but yeah, that's pretty much what I want to talk about today. Let's see if there's any crazy performers. I've been trading Fartcoin a lot. This one's kind of breaking out here. I'm thinking that this might be able to at least get to the last all-time high or make a new all-time high. I don't know why, but Fartcoin has been performing very well. So I have been trading that one as well. I was up about $2,000. I should have closed a little bit more, but I have realized $600 of profit, and I still have about almost $1,000 of profit. I'm up 50%. So this one has been performing good as well. But that's pretty much it for the video. Lots going on. Again, bull market tomorrow, potentially continue this pump. We have just broken out of this massive descending triangle. Solana is doing very well also. Oh, I'll show you Solana actually, because it looks like it's making a little bit of a inverse head and shoulders. You can see boom, boom, boom. And then we kind of almost faked out, and then boom, rocketed right back up and saw a nice 10% pump right out of there. Again, we do have some resistance up here that we're trying to work back into. So we'll see what happens there. We do have that resistance to mess around with. But if we turn back on the Camel Finance indicator, what does this say? It says the weekly low was here in the left shoulder. So that would have been an okay entry, except for you probably would have got stopped out, depending on how close you put your stop loss. But anyways, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do want to try Bitunix and try leverage trading, use low leverage, please. Use my link below, though. It gives you a very nice discount on fees, and it, of course, helps me out. I get a percentage of your fees instead of the exchange. So it doesn't cost you anything. It obviously helps you out because you get lower fees, and there's a bunch of deposit bonuses and stuff, but it helps me out. If you want to trade stocks using crypto, USDT, you can also use BTCC. It's another one that I've been messing around with. So that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Have a great day, everyone. Leave a comment below. What do you guys think? Do you think this weekend pump is going to continue, or do you think it's going to be a weekend dump like always? I think maybe we finally get one that actually is a pump. So we'll see what happens. Another one, Bitcoin Cash, actually. Huge pump out of here randomly. So that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment. Have a great day. Join the Discord if you want. If you want to also, if you want to suggest any videos, I have a section for that in the Discord if you want to do that. That's it. Have a great day. See you guys.